The thing about rejection is, first, you have to know how to just take it like a champ and walk away without making it more complicated or dangerous or uncomfortable for the person that rejected you. Second thing about rejection is it's okay to know that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Remember, there are different energies and powers correlated to how we interact with each other. So, for example, I myself am very assertive and I will just walk up to people and say exactly what I think and feel, which probably throws them off guard a little bit. But I've learned in that process of doing that it's going to be a double-edged sword. Either people really love it and they're open to that type of interaction where someone just says, "Hey, you look good. What's your name? Let me get your number. Let's go from there." And some people might find that as like, this is too presumptuous. They might feel like a player. They might think that they're coming on too strong and they don't like that. So for me, as the person who is the approacher, especially when it comes to the masculine and or males, you're supposed to know how to receive this type of, I'm going to call initiation, so that you're able to then walk out into the world and not have so much aggression on your shoulders. A situation that humbled me, but it also made me sad, not because of me being rejected, but because I actually empathized with the person who rejected me. And the scenario was, I was out in public with a friend, we were at the store, and I was like, "Oh wow, they're really attractive." And I just walked up to them and was like, "I find you attractive, I would love to have your number." And they gave me a number, right? And I'm all excited and I go home and try to text and I don't hear back for a couple of days. And then I realize, oh, I'm blocked. And it didn't offend me because I'm a healed masculine. And here's why. In that moment, I realized that person was just trying to be safe. I saw a TikTok where a woman was saying that, which gave me an extra layer of, yeah, that makes sense. But they were like, just give them the number. Even if they're not your type, just give them the number so that they'll leave you alone just in case they might not be stable. And that's the part that makes it sad. But as a healed masculine, I know that that's the part of being responsible in my maturity and masculinity to say, okay, that's fine. I understand that that's what some people have to do. Like, because I don't think that I'm unattractive, so that ain't the problem, right? That's where my confidence comes in. I know I'm not ugly, so doesn't mean I'm that person's cup of tea either, and it doesn't mean that scenario or situation they were willing to be involved in. So I have to take the responsibility of that rejection and say, it just wasn't the right time or wasn't the right person, and that's okay. And you get up and you move on. This is where confidence comes in. This is why it's important to know who you are and be okay with talking to people and them not wanting something from you the way you want something from them. Because sometimes, again, that's what they say, give things time. People can warm up to you later and they might pop back into your life and you can go from there. But I would not chase someone down and force them to give me their number or try to make them figure out like why they don't like me. Like, that's not my personality. And again, even if you're the type of person where you say, well, I'm not as attractive. Okay, are you putting energy into yourself though? Like, are you loving on yourself? Because just right there saying you're not attractive is not loving on yourself. I have learned that no matter what someone else thinks about your looks, you have to love yourself. You have to find parts of you that makes you love you so that when rejection does happen, it doesn't feel so bad. It doesn't feel like, wow, I'm a total crappy person. No, because remember, there's another level to this too, where there are people who recognize your power and energy and they know that they can't handle you. And so they're like, I don't want that type of energy in my life. I like knowing that I'm the one who's in control or the one who gets the most attention or the one who can tell somebody to be quiet and they do it, right? I'm not that kind of person, because instantly with me, you can tell if I can walk up to a stranger and just say how I feel and shoot my shot and not care and walk away, you're definitely not going to tell me what to do in a relationship. So I've also learned how to articulate that moment of rejection into something that's positive. This is what, when we call alchemizing and transmuting energy and all this stuff, that's the power of what those things are, where you can take something that might have been fool's gold to make it real's gold, right? Taking something that could have been a situation that I made negative or made myself feel bad about myself or made that person be a villain in my mind, and then go out and then treat everyone else with that energy of, well, they're just rejecting me, so now I'm going to be a villain myself. That doesn't make sense to me. I get it. I get that feeling of wanting to become the villain, right? But that's where you get these dark stories of, I became this way because people didn't love me. But it's like, well, you didn't love yourself either. You became that way because you didn't know how to love yourself, because you needed validations from others' love to say that you were valuable. That's not how love works. Love of self is, no matter what, I'm gonna be all right. No matter what, I'm gonna make it. No matter what, it is what it is, right? That's life. That is how it works. That's how spirit works. That's how the universe works. If something falls apart, it just makes something new. If a tree falls down or a branch falls off, as long as the roots are still there, it's gonna grow something back. So that's just how I look at life. I know positivity for others isn't easy, but rejection is one of the main things that I think men have to really learn how to practice, right? This is where they talk about the bear again. If you have no emotional intelligence, if you have no sense of autonomy and respect of self, then you're going to feel that any type of no towards you is a rejection that is against your looks or confidence or anything, and it shouldn't be about that. I know people are shallow, but let's just be real. I was shallow even when I was a big boy, right? It's just not going to change anything. But once I got skinny, and that's what that other person on TikTok is going through, Fanita, I think her name is, where it's a real moment of my entire life I looked this way and I've been a good person. And then out of nowhere, I lose something that is deemed not attractive, and now people find me attractive. That messes with the essence of who you are. It messes with your mind. Don't get me wrong, for a long time, my 20s was my villain phase. That was my goon phase, because I was like, nobody wanted me when I was chubby, so I'm gonna just go out here and run through people. But then when I did that, I started to realize the type of energy that I was giving away. And I was like, okay, now I'm just being angry. This is retaliation sex. This is retaliation relationships. And you start making this trail of bodies where they're good people, but you put them into your drama because you didn't know how to clear out your own stuff, right? That's the part of where when rejection happens, it hurts. That's why people have so much abandonment issues and everything else, because they're not processing their confidence correctly. Confidence is simply saying, there's another one. There's never going to be the exact same person, because there's no exact same soul. But there are patterns of behavior that we as cultures replicate, and then we say are our personalities, which is why people think that other people are so replaceable. I, on the other hand, do not do that. I don't want someone who's generically, basically regurgitatable, because I just don't like when someone's like, I want to be like everyone else. I want to do everything everyone else is doing. That's fine, but do you have a personality beyond this trend, right? Beyond this thing that everyone's doing, because now you fit in, but now you're just everyone. And to me, it's like, okay, whatever. That's a whole other topic. The point of this is what is the point of this? Just remember to love on yourself, okay? This is what all my videos are about. Love on yourself, trust the process, listen to who you are, and that's where you're going to start to learn how to understand that. Listen, you're not going to be everyone's type. I had to look at my own thing. I was like, what's my notes? Because I get on tangents. But you're not going to be everyone's type, and that's okay. Like, that's normal, that's fine. It's relatable. I think the most important part is, again, it's have a game plan for rejection. So for me, if I go up to someone and I talk to them, and I've had it happen, people just reject me, point out to my face like, ha ha ha, cute. Not interested. They didn't say it, but that is. So I say, cool, okay. And I stay nice and I just walk away. And then I go to someone else or I go do something else. But again, everyone's not me. I get it. But it takes practice, because again, for me myself, I was not the person you see today. When I was younger, I was a chubby kid and people picked on me, and I was a nerdy kid, and I was all these things that society said was bad. But you know what that gave me? It gave me a really good backbone to be like, whatever, if people are going to reject me as a kid, then that's fine. It gave me even more of a confidence as an adult, because I'm like, y'all are all the same kids who ain't changed. You just have different bodies. So that's the part that makes me laugh, where I'm like, whatever, do what you want to do. But remember, there's always a safety part that's connected to it. So yes, if someone rejects you, just take it in grace, walk away and say, okay. And if, they give you a fake number, you got a fake number and you move on, and that's okay. All right. Anyways, hope this makes sense. Love ya.